Greetings, people of Earth. I'm Rick Harold. Thanks for watching the video and listening to the podcasts. Today is a short discussion because it's about OS 2. I'm sure a lot of people are like, they have no idea what that is. OS 2, Operating System 2, was supposed to be the successor of DOS, written by IBM and Microsoft back in, I'll say 1990-ish. It was a real operating system. It was targeted towards the new type of PCs that are coming out and new Intel chips that had 32-bit addressable memory, which is back then a ton of memory if you could actually have that much. DOS, which had a 640K limit of memory, in addition to having other extended memory mechanisms, was very limited, and it was running into a lot of problems for people with spreadsheets and Lotus 123 and other applications. Additionally, DOS was kind of built over time and was piled on with new functionality, but it didn't really operate as a true operating system. It was basically a program running on the PC, and you really couldn't do any task switching or anything like that. And it wasn't graphical, right? So it wasn't like the Mac. So IBM and Microsoft came out, and they started coming out with OS 2. Now, simultaneously, Microsoft came out with Windows. Now, Windows had actually been out, Windows 1.0 and Windows 2.0, which in a different video I'll talk about how we actually wrote a mapping program on that. But Windows 1.0 and 2.0 stunk. Windows 3.0, when it came out, was real. And the real part about it was graphical interface, and it was matured enough that end users could use it. And it allowed you to use more memory, which was really a big deal. But it was still kind of a hack. It was really a program running on a PC, kind of effectively on DOS, except it took over the screen, and it made device drivers independent. And that was one of the big reasons we actually started using Windows 2.0, because back then you'd have to get different device drivers for different monitors. Every monitor was kind of different. Windows kind of abstracted that. OS 2, though, again, was going to be the king. And when we started with our Shield series products, InstallShield, which was one of them, we realized, well, it's not clear when OS 2 is going to take over. We knew it would take over. It didn't. So we would create this Shield products, which would abstract OS 2 and Windows from each other, and eventually other platforms. So our users could create installations or demos or whatever our other tools were, and not have to worry about the platform. OS 2 was legitimate. It was a very well-organized operating system. It had very nice APIs that were thought through. I wrote lots of stuff on it. But Windows took over, and applications came out for Windows. OS 2 took too long. It was too heavy. The PCs at the time couldn't really support it. Windows was enough of a proxy for a real operating system in terms of switching tasks, for end users at least, and for development, that everybody just started writing programs for Windows. So we had OS 2 sales, and a lot of times it was the bigger companies like Adobe or Lotus 123 that needed things for OS 2 because they had corporate clients that were going the OS 2 route. But once Windows 95 came out, it really pretty much killed OS 2. And I don't remember the year we actually quit supporting it. It wasn't much longer after that, because we didn't really have sales on it, not significant. And it's a lot of work, right? Maintaining these different code bases. And especially with installation, because installation has to be ready before the operating system's even out. It has to know all the new subtle changes or intricacies which aren't documented before they're released. And trying to do that for multiple operating systems and multiple versions is really hard. So OS 2 is basically dead to us. OS 2, somewhere in the middle here, also was able to run Windows, but that was a dead-end road because it was, I don't know if it was really emulating it in a VMware image way, but it was, once Windows went to true 32-bit and true operating system, it wasn't possible, especially with the hardware at the time. Obviously later with VMware and other things, you're able to emulate machines entirely. But it still didn't matter. OS 2 wasn't being used. Now, of course, software never dies. I'm sure there's probably DOS programs still out there. I know some people that work with COBOL still on accounting stuff, which is like 30 years old. So I actually hadn't looked, so I thought, well, I'll go look what's going on with OS 2 because I was going to talk about it. And sure enough, it still supported Arca OS. I don't know the compatibility or the specifics. I'm not going to look into it. But clearly, people probably built lots of things on top of it that still justify the cost for both this company that's supporting this OS 2 and whatever their customers have because of the legacy requirements, and companies don't want to change stuff. Anyway, the OS 2 was interesting. It's kind of an example of the VHS and Betamax and the Blu-ray and HD DVD. The better operating system, the better video mechanism probably doesn't win out necessarily, even though it might be superior in many ways. Eventually, Windows obviously has evolved into a full operating system. So anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting to pass along a little bit of history. Let me know if you have any questions, and take it easy.